Guys, welcome back to my channel. It has again been a very long time. First and foremost, I know that I have a serious tan line, but other than that, hey, what's up? How's it been? I feel like a stranger, or when you don't see a friend for years and you're just kind of like, I don't even know how to catch you up. There's been so much going on. I know it's been a long time since I have come and posted anything, but yet I am still at it. I wanted to do another video. It's been what, 3 years since the last one? So of course a lot has been going on since then. I know if you have seen the last video that I posted, I was really kind of just chit-chatty, of course, wanting to talk about the direction of where God was taking this YouTube channel and the things that he was doing in my life. And I was just kind of like so excited and on fire, wanting to just tell my subscribers, stay tuned and you're gonna get to see the amazing things that God is gonna be doing in my life. I just know it, you know, come along for the ride so y'all can see. And I completely left y'all out of that, and I am so sorry. But needless to say, God has still been doing so much, like to the point where he's been doing so much that I haven't been able to even film it all. Like, it's hard for me to wrap my head around everything that's been going on as well. So I wanted to come on here and I guess just do a part 2 to the last video that I posted and catch you up on the last 3-4 years of my life. And again, still just brag on God a little bit, a lot of it actually. And I just want y'all to know the things that he's been doing, just as a testimony and to encourage you. So again, the last video that I posted, I was so excited and I was just so ready to be obedient to God, and he really blessed me and I got a job. That was the excitement in that last video. So I hadn't too long graduated college when I posted that video, and I was working a temp job, so I didn't have benefits, but it was, you know, like a full-time job, full-time hours. And then I was working part-time as well in cosmetics, so that's why you saw so many makeup videos and skincare videos. I still have a passion for skincare and cosmetics, but to be honest, I have not been doing makeup these last 4 years. Like, I barely have been doing my own makeup, really. If I'm just going somewhere or if I have a date or something, then I would put some makeup on. But other than that, like, you'll get bare minimum, like just some blush and some mascara for me. But I do still plan on getting out there and getting back into the swing of things with cosmetics and makeup. I know the industry is so different now. I know it's only been 3 years, 2 or 3 years, I don't even know. But I do know that there's been so much growth, and I'm not even up to date on current trends and the things that people really want to see, new products. I don't know, but I'm going to be researching so that I can do that as well. I do still love the creativity behind makeup and just skincare. Like, I do still have like a 15-step skincare routine every night and every morning. So I will definitely bring you in the boat on that so you can see everything that I've been doing. My skin's had some major improvements, still some more improvement to go, but you know, we got to be proactive, not reactive. We're trying to keep a youthful glow. But yeah, so the last video was me just really excited because God had blessed me with a job, like a full-time, like big girl job, right? Not a play job, or a temp job, I guess is what I mean. Because I was, you know, working a lot of hours, not really bringing home a whole lot of money. I didn't have benefits and things like that. So he ended up blessing me with a job in an industry where I actually had already applied for this job and I did not get it. And so it was about 6 months later that the Lord just led me to try again, right? It's not, my degree is in psychology. This was not a job in my field, but it was definitely a job where you get your foot in the door and you can really skyrocket. And so I really wanted to I wanted a job. Like, I wanted to know that I was secure, right? And so I interviewed again after 6 months and went all the way, ended up getting the job, and I was just so excited. And so with that being said, he just continued to bless me and bless me and bless me in my career. And I got even busier, right? Like, I was already busy working 2 jobs, but I was even busier with this one job. And I had so many hopes to, come and share and still do videos and keep up with subscribers and the people that really were interested in what was going on in my life. And so I was not able to do that. And I know that I could have found time. I could have done more. And I will say that my time management was not great. It still isn't great. I'm still working on that. But I know that I had a lot more time than I gave myself credit for. So that's on me. And I know that a lot of people needed to see those videos. They needed to hear about the things that I wanted to talk about, just because, they had something going on in their life where they just needed that. They needed to hear the things that God was doing so that they could be inspired and they could know that God could do it for them. And so that's something that, of course, I will have to answer for one day. But, we're not looking behind us. We're looking forward. We're moving forward. And here I am getting some more content out. You got to start somewhere, right? Can't dwell on the past, can't dwell on mistakes. So I started with this company, and it was it was, I don't even know how to explain it. It wasn't what I was expecting. So a lot of times, even when God blesses you with a job, you're just like, oh, he blessed me with a job. Like, now I actually have to work. Like, it's a lot of work. And so that was definitely me. And I was overwhelmed. Like, I was overwhelmed with gratitude, but also overwhelmed, like, okay, Lord, like, if you're going to bless me with this, you're going to have to bless me with the work ethic. Like, you're going to have to, you're going to have to grace me with how I'm going to do this every day. And so I worked extremely, extremely hard by the grace of God the first 6 months. And I was, killing it. I was on a different level. I was up there with people that had worked in the company for years, right? Like, and I don't mean to say that to be cocky or conceited. I'm saying that because it was God within me that was really making me shine in that environment and with this company. And after 6 months, everything is like literally phenomenal. So after 6 months, COVID happened, and it was one of those things where, as many of you know, it was one of those things where you don't really know what's going to happen with your job, right? Like, a lot of companies shut down completely. A lot of people lost their jobs. And during the early stages of COVID, like, I didn't know if I was going to have a job. And so you're kind of scared because you don't really want to expose yourself to, the virus, and you don't really want to stay at home either, because if you don't work, who knows what's going to happen, right? So I ended up, I was a little nervous, and they actually asked me, like, they called me and asked me if I wanted to work through and push through, or if I wanted to be furloughed. Like, they were letting people go. And so I was like, I don't want to be furloughed. Like, I need a job. Like, I don't know what that's going to look like. And so I decided to continue to work. And I was really blessed. I was really blessed. I saw it as they they value me enough to really want me to continue and work for them through this process when they don't know what's going to happen. And so I felt like, you know, oh, like they're seeing my hard work and they're valuing my hard work. They're seeing my work ethic. And so, you know, I continued to work through COVID, and a lot of people were furloughed. A lot of people were at home. I went through that period of just like, oh, you know, what am I doing here? And God, what's all this for? And so, again, just months and months and months went by of what's gonna happen, and just being so overworked. I'm not gonna lie, I was being overworked. We were having to work outside in the heat. I mean, I know there are people that work outside in the heat every day, and I'm like, I honor you for that. I do, because it's hard. It is hard. The Alabama heat is already no joke. You're working outside every day. So every morning I'm having to get strapped up with my sun visor, my fanny pack, my sneakers, you know, like I'm ready. Like I'm having to kind of like stay in the gym and just be like physically fit to work this job. And, you know, putting on sunscreen every day, which I should have done here, but putting on sunscreen every day, you know, just to go to work, and working even more hours than I was pre-COVID. And it was tough. Like, it was so tough to the point where the only reason why I didn't leave and like just kind of throw my hands up was because no one else would hire me during COVID. And I didn't try, but I already knew that nobody was really going to hire me during COVID. Businesses are literally shutting down. Why would somebody want to hire me because I left my other job? So again, I continue to just stick it out. And once things really kind of leveled out, you know, on kind of the tail end of COVID, people were starting to get back in the regular swing of things. And I remember again going through kind of like a phase where I'm like, what do you mean to tell me that they sat at home all those months and I'm working, and they just come back and we're still on the same level, like we're still making the same amount of money? And you know, God had to deal with me through that. It ended up paying off, I'll say, because after business went back to normal, I was like able to promote so quickly that it really just like made people's heads spin. And like, as soon as things really started to get back to normal, I was just like going for everything, right? And the experience that I was able to gain working through COVID was priceless, right? Like, I'm sitting there complaining about people who were sitting at home all those months and, you know, still only making the same amount of money as them. But working through COVID and the experience that I was able to gain, man, it was like people wanted people who had worked through COVID, who had that new sense of the way that the business is now being ran, you know, because even after COVID, business will never be the same again. I don't know what a lot of you do, but man, COVID rocked the world. It rocked so many companies to where even now the policies and the way that things are ran, it's all because of COVID. And so I was able to just, again, by the grace of God, elevate to a point where people are looking at me like, something doesn't look right, you know, something doesn't, like, something's not adding up. And the grace of God will do that for you. People will look and they'll start being jealous. They'll start being like, there's no way. But the grace of God, you know, He was putting me in places where, no, you know, I could literally say that it's not me. Like, it's not me. I had people reaching out wanting me to be their mentor, like other women, like, hey, like, you're my inspiration. Like, I look to you to really be like, and I'm just like, what? You know, in my head, I'm the most unqualified person. you know, and little do they know that I go home every day just praying that God will continue to get me through it. You know, I'm only able to do it by the grace of God, and I come home and I'm still just like, Lord, I'm gonna need you tomorrow too. I'm gonna need you every day. You know, there were days where I would run to the bathroom and cry. There were mornings where before we opened the store, I would cry and I would just pray. Like I would be deep in prayer, just knowing that I cannot do this without God. Like it was tough. And so about a year ago, fast forward, so about a year ago, God told me to leave. He did. God told me to leave this job where he had blessed me so exponentially. And I'm like, okay. Okay. You know, okay, Lord, like I will leave if that's what you want me to do. But what I did was I went and started applying for jobs before I left. I was like, okay, I'm gonna apply here. Let me get my resume together. My resume is like on fire. It's a 10 out of 10 resume. And I'm submitting it to different companies. And I don't get not one interview. Like I'm barely getting responses, and all the responses that I'm getting are, unfortunately, we're not going to pursue you as a candidate. Like I'm like, what in the world? I'm just kind of like, you know what? I'm just gonna give it a break. I'm gonna, you know, press the pause button, and I'm just gonna again just dive into my work. I'm really just gonna work hard again and see where that takes me. And so I end up working, you know, just kind of putting everything on the back burner in my mind that God told me to do. So I'm still going to work every day, working like a dog and praying that God will get me through it. But now the difference is I'm now starting to lose the grace for where I'm at. I noticed that what used to come easy, what I used to not even have to really think about, and you know, the results would be there. Now I was striving, I was working like, I'm talking like 20 days straight, 12 to 14 hour shifts, and I'm still not getting the results. Like I'm not getting results to where I'm starting to look bad. Like my upper management is like, hey, what's going on? Like we need to get to the bottom of this. What's going on? What do you need from us? And I'm like, y'all don't even know that I'm working 20 days straight trying to make sure that, you know, everything is in order, and things still just won't get in order. And so I was like, okay, well, clearly this isn't working. It's time for me to leave. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to apply for internal opportunities, right? I'm gonna just start applying for, you know, this company is global. I'm just gonna start applying for other positions. I'll move if I have to. Like, I'm just looking now to get out of here, out of this store. And so I applied for some jobs internally. One of them in particular, I not only get one interview, I get two. Not only do I get two interviews, I get a third interview for them to fly me all the way to headquarters to interview with like the top department head. I'm like, oh my God, like God, thank you. Like this is awesome. Like this job is mine. Like there's no way, right? There's absolutely no way the Lord's gonna let me get this far and it's not mine. So I'm so confident. I just know that it's mine. I go to St. Louis, kill the interview. I know I did. I killed the interview. I'm looking at the other candidates like, this job is mine. You know, I look the part. I just sound like I'm, you know, already in the position. And so I come back home and I'm just like, you know, it's mine. I know it is. But in the back of my head, it's funny because in the back of my head, I remember thinking, but what if it's not? What if it's not right? What if it's not the job that God wants me to have? But the front of my mind, you know, I'm just like, like God wouldn't have taken me that far for me to not get the job. And so they called me and they let me down easy. They let me know that they're not going to hire me, and because of X, Y, and Z. Now, I will say that what stood out the most to me about this particular situation was that the hiring team was raving about me. They were very impressed. Like, they continued to say how impressed they were. I couldn't help but think, if that's how you feel, then why do I not have the job? You know? And almost like overly qualified, right? Like, have you ever been overly qualified for something and you still don't get it? And you're just like, Lord, why? And so I was really heartbroken about it. I was. And I remember just praying, and I was so hurt because I knew that it was God, you know? Like, even though he told me to leave, I'm telling myself, well, he didn't really want me to leave. He just wanted me to push forward and keep going for another position. Maybe he just wanted me to leave the store I was at. And so when interview 1 and 2 went great, and even interview 3 went great, I'm like, yes, this is what he meant. Like, this is the Lord. And so that fell through, and then I'm like, why? What? Like, are you kidding me? Like, what do you want me to do? And I remember the Lord reminding me of what he said a year ago. And he told me to leave. And I was trying to find every other avenue before I left, right? Like, I'm trying to make sure that I open up another door before I close this door. I'm trying to get another job offer before I leave. And the Lord's just like, I told you to leave. I didn't tell you to start looking for other jobs and then leave. I told you to leave. And so that's when I made up my mind. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna leave. I know I'm gonna leave. When am I gonna do it, Lord? Like, you gotta tell me something. And I just went in one Monday, and I still had a really good attitude. Like, I did. Like, I feel like I did. I don't know if everyone around me still felt that, but I feel like I left with a great attitude. I, took criticism well when I, got my feedback about why I didn't get this position. I still continued to come in every day and do my job and work hard. But again, it was still something where, God no longer was helping me. He was no longer helping me at this job because he did not want me there. And so I went in one Monday. I was like, you know what? It's just got to be done. So I gave them my notice. And here I am. It's been about a month since I did that, and I'm still unemployed. I'm still unemployed, y'all. But when I tell you, I'm just so, I have so much peace about it. Like, I truly have peace about it, and I'm so grateful still. Oh, I'm so grateful. Just grateful that God cared enough about me to speak to me and to correct me, right? Like, I'm grateful for his correction. I'm grateful that even though he told me to leave a year ago, like, the walls didn't, the whole establishment didn't burn down, but he definitely showed me that, hey, you have to listen. You have to be obedient to me, because if you are outside of my will, there's nothing that I can do. And you're going to forever be striving to succeed in this when I've taken my hand off of it and I've told you to do something else. And so it was tough. It was very tough, because I mentioned in my last video too, just about being, how to be obedient, right? Like, how to be obedient through doubt. And I think that the Lord really, really tested me and showed me that obedience is so much better than sacrifice. Like, who's to say that a year ago when he initially told me to leave, that my life wouldn't be so much more, it would be so much different. Not that my life is bad right now. God is still so incredible. And the fact that I have been out of work for a month, I have not hurt for anything. Like, I have not been without anything financially, food, like anything. Like, it's crazy. And God blessed me with wisdom to be smart with my money while I was there. So, like, I know that I'm okay right now. Of course, there's gonna come a point where it's gonna run out, but I'm trusting that God is going to bring provision, and I'm trusting that He is going to bring along a job for me or another opportunity. Like, who's to say that someone won't see this video and want me to, you know, want to pay me to be an influencer? But whatever it is that God wants me to do, I'm going to have to do it. Like, I've realized that in my life, 27 years old, and I am just now realizing that, like, hey, what He told you to do, what He ordered you to do, it's not going to change. It's really not. And we procrastinated, we drag our feet, just thinking like, oh, something's going to change, or doubting like, I don't know if that was really Him. You know, and the fact that I finally ended up leaving and I didn't get a job the very next day, I still do not doubt that God told me to leave, you know. And the enemy, of course, is going to try to tell you, well, you know, now you're going to be suffering, now you don't have money, and try to get you to worry and stuff. Like, I don't even have a car right now, y'all. Like, I don't have a job, I don't have a source of income, nor do I have permanent transportation. I'm still renting a car, but I mean, I am so fulfilled in my spirit, you know. I'm so just ready, and I'm excited for whatever is coming next, because now I know that I've passed this test. I've passed the test. You just got to think about, you know, if the Lord asks you to give up something that He gave you, are you willing to give it up? And for me, it wasn't about the money that I was making. It was about just knowing that I was gonna be okay. You know, I need to know that I have money to take care of myself. And luckily, I'm not married. I don't have kids right now. It's just me. It's me and my cats, me and my 2 boys. But imagine if God would have told me that and I had a family to provide for. Oh man, you know, I'm grateful for that alone. Just like, Lord, thank you that you had me leave my job right now when it's just me. You know, Lord, please, in the future, when I do have a family and kids, please don't ask me to leave my job, because it's going to be really, really hard, you know. But of course, there's levels to this. So hopefully, if He does ask me to do that, then I'll be on the level of faith to where I can still say, God, you did it before. I left my job before and you provided, and I know you'll do it again. Or if I leave my job, you're going to provide for me and my family and my children. So y'all, just keep me in your prayers. I'm good. I promise you, I'm not around here stressing. I think everybody that I talk to, you know, I still have friends that ask like, have you gotten a job? You know, like, I've put my resume to some places, like I'm waiting. But right now, I'm just being like, I don't have a job to go to every morning and be stressed about and come home all tired and exhausted. Like, I'm just being, you know, and I'm able to hear from God better this way, and I don't have any distractions around me. So I'm in a really good place. But of course, I could always use your prayers. Just pray for me, you know, and just, you know, yeah. So that's my recap. So I am going to continue to keep y'all updated as well. And yeah, so if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. There are going to be more videos posted. There is more to come. So you definitely want to, you know, stay tuned. And I promise you I'm good for it this time. I am going to come back and I am going to give you an update. But again, thank you so much. Thank you for just watching and listening. Y'all be blessed, okay? Bye.